In last lecture, we have discussed first part of the chapter, that is reflection. In this lecture, we are going to see second part, that is refraction. What is meant by refraction and what are the concepts present in refraction? Let us try to understand. So first of all, if you observe the definition of refraction, the phenomena of bending of light. So when light is traveling from one medium to another medium, for example, actually what is meant by medium? Medium is a place or point or area where energy travels. Energy travels. But you see, there are three forms of energies: sound, light, and heat. Three forms are there. In this, sound always will be traveling in medium, means sound needs medium to propagate, to travel. But while coming to light and heat, no medium is required. Light and heat both can pass through, both can travel through vacuum, also no particles required. And you see, we are in chapter light, so let us discuss something regarding light. Light can pass through solids, light can pass through liquids, light can pass through gases. At the same time, light can pass through vacuum also. Now, when they are referring to the medium, we should consider solids, liquids, gases, not vacuum. Now, you see, there are again two types of mediums. First, we can call it as RA, RE, or rarer medium. Second one is DENSE, or denser medium. What is meant by rarer? What is meant by denser? In the name itself, we have rarer. So if particles are very rare and particles are very loosely packed, that area, that object, we are calling it as rarer medium. And denser, dense, if all particles are very tightly packed and particles are very near to each other, we can call that one as denser medium. Now there is a comparison. If you, and always there should be comparison between two objects only, two mediums only. If I take water and oxygen, then we can compare, like in water, molecules are somewhat tightly packed, but while coming to oxygen, it is gas, so that it is loosely packed. Then we can tell water is denser medium, oxygen is rarer medium. Now if I compare petrol and glass, window glass, then petrol is liquid where molecules are somewhat loosely packed, but while coming to glass, molecules are very tightly packed because of density. Then petrol is rarer medium, glass becomes denser medium. So that is a concept you have to understand now. Like that, there should be comparison between rarer and denser. So now you see, when light is traveling from one medium to another medium, definitely light will bend. Why light will bend? In the sense, because there is change in its speed and direction. Two factors we have to consider: speed and direction. Definitely there will be change in speed and direction. That also we'll discuss how that speed will be changing, what is the direction of light. Now speed of light changes when it enters from rarer medium to denser medium, or denser to rarer medium, because of particles, presence of particles. Now while coming to laws of refraction, there are two laws. Before learning these two laws, let us try to understand light ray passing from air to glass, which same experiment which is there in your textbook also. If you see, this experiment is related to passing of light through rectangular glass slab. You see light which is coming from the source, which is known as incident ray. This ray is I, incident ray. We will be drawing one normal ray. Normal ray in the sense light ray which will not deviate, which will not reduce its speed, will not increase its speed, will not decrease its speed. It will be passing straight. And normal ray is there when light is, you see, first of all, medium one, that is air, and medium two, that is glass. Now light ray is traveling from air to glass. Air, that is rarer medium, glass, that is denser medium. Now when light is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, now light is traveling here, and there is some angle between incident ray and normal ray, that is known as angle of incidence. As soon as passing from rarer to denser, definitely there is reduction in speed. When light is traveling from rarer to denser, speed is reduced. And you can observe light ray, instead of traveling like this, it has bent. I mean, it is bending towards the normal. When light is traveling from rarer to denser, speed is reduced and it will bend towards normal. That these 2 points are very important, you have to remember. And ray which is bending, which is passing in the second medium, denser medium, that is known as refracted ray. And the angle between refracted ray and the normal is known as angle of refraction. Again, if we pass that light from glass to air, now from medium to, yes, we can consider this one as first medium or third medium. Both are correct. So when light is traveling from glass to air, again, this light, instead of traveling like this, it will regains its original velocity. So it will again bend and travel like this. And light ray which is bending out, which is traveling from denser to rarer, which is third medium, that is known as emergent ray. And that here, this is the point where emergent ray is passing. Here you can draw one normal ray. Now if you observe, when light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, speed is increased, it is regaining its speed. And at the same time, instead of traveling like this, it tilted in this direction, it has changed the direction, simply to say that emergent ray is bending away from the normal, away from the normal. So these are the 2 points you have to remember. Now always incident ray will be parallel to emergent ray, that also we have discussed. And basically why it will bend? Because all transparent materials will have one property called refractive index. You see in electricity chapter, very simple concept. Electricity, you might have discussed that all metals are conductors. Why? Because it has some ability to pass electricity. And non-metals are, simply to say, alloys. Few alloys and few non-metals are insulators. Insulators will resist flow of charge. It will resist, but conductors will allow. Resist means it will stop, allow means it will pass. Because of conductivity, because of that less resistivity, metals will pass electricity. Same like that, it is a property of metal. Conduction is property of metal. And while coming to refractive index, Ri, which is represented with the letter N, refractive index is characteristic of the transparent material. Because of refractive index only, this will allow light to pass, at the same time it will allow light to bend because of refraction. Now you see, all transparent materials will not have same refractive index value. Different transparent materials will have different refractive index values. That also we are going to discuss. Next, apart from refractive index, first if you observe laws of refraction. Now first law of refraction, number 1, the incident ray, refracted ray, normal ray to the interface of two transparent media. You see, if you consider this is one transparent media, here we have air, this is glass, and you see this line which we can mark it as AB. This line is the interface between two transparent media. Air is transparent, glass is transparent, so this line becomes the interface of two transparent media. Here there will be a point, here you can observe, here there is a point where we can find incident ray, you can find normal ray, you can find refracted ray. So these three rays to the interface of two transparent media at a point of incidence. This is the point of incidence. All lie in the same plane. Everything is lying in the same plane. Next one, Snell's law, sine of I by sine of R is equal to constant. Already I told you in last lecture that incident angles, whatever angle you want, you can take it, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees. Here you see, this is the angle. This is the angle where this is incident ray, this is normal ray. Here you can take it, you see, normal you can take 30 degrees, normal you can take 40 degrees, normal you can take 50 degrees, normal you can take 60 degrees. Whatever it may be the angle, you can take it. But refraction angles also will change. But if you take the ratio, all values will be constant. That is the concept of law of refraction. This second law is also known as Snell's law. You have to remember that name because they might ask you in the MCQ. Second law of refraction is also known as dash law. Which law? Ohm's law, Snell's law, something like that. Okay, where we can find the refraction? We can find refraction in transparent objects. We can find refraction only in transparent objects. And while coming to transparent objects, in your 10th class, we are going to learn about lenses. What is the difference between glass and lens? Glass is also transparent, lens is also transparent, but for glass, there is no power. There is no different angles. There is no bending. It is not curved. It is straight, parallel, etc. Right? And there is no thickness. If thickness increases, of course, refraction you can observe, like rectangular glass slab. Here you see, this is the experiment. It is rectangular glass slab, right? But it has some thickness. It is like a cuboid. Because of the thickness, you can observe the refraction. But if thickness is reduced, for the normal glasses, you cannot observe, right? Now, well, coming to lens, lens is power. Lens has some power. It has some angle. It is curved, so that we can observe refraction very greater in lens. You can observe less refraction in glass, greater refraction in lens. We should not tell that we cannot observe any refraction in glass. No, you can observe refraction, but lens, greater refraction. And in glasses, we cannot find any focal lengths. You cannot observe any focuses. Normal glass, window glasses or rectangular glass slabs will not focus light. But while coming to lenses, it will focus light. That these are the differences between glasses and lenses. Now we have a spherical lens. What is spherical lens? If you take spherical glass, transparent spherical glass, and if you take one small part from that, it acts like lenses. There are two types of lenses. They are concave lens and convex lens. Here you can observe first one convex lens, second one concave lens. Convex lens shape will be like this, which is thick from center, very thick from center, and thin at corners. At corners you can observe it is so thin, and it is known as converging lens. Why it is known as converging lens? If you pass light rays parallel to each other, all rays will be passing through the lens and it converges at one point. It will be focused at one point, so that it is known as converging lens. And concave lens, shape of concave lens will be like this. Now it is thick from center. If you observe, sorry, thin from center. Center it is so thin, and thick from corners. If you observe corners, it is so thick, and it is known as diverging lens, because if you pass light rays parallel to each other, now as soon as passing through the lens, all light rays will be diverged like this, so that only it is known as diverging lens. And here, while coming to convex lens, everything is focused here, but while coming to concave lens, we are not observing light rays which are parallel to each other or which are converging. But what we can do, you can draw imaginary lines backside such that all light rays will be meeting at one point. It is appears to meet, guys. Appears to meet means it is virtual. Actually meet means it is real. When it is real, definitely it will be inverted. When it is virtual, definitely it will be erect. That also we are going to discuss. So we have discussed about types of lenses. Here we have few other topics. Refractive index. What is refractive index? You see, refractive index is a property, or we can call it as characteristic of transparent materials. Characteristic of transparent materials. Because of refractive index only, you can observe refraction. If there is no refractive index, you cannot observe refraction. Simple concept. Now, how can you find out refractive index of particular medium? Always we need to compare. We need to compare. You need to compare one material with another material. First object with the second object. First material with second material. First substance with second substance. Now, refractive index. It is mentioned with n/1. What is the meaning of n/1? Refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. This can be written as 1n2, means refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium, and formula. This is 1 in the numerator, so it becomes v1, velocity of light in first medium, divided by v2, velocity of light, speed of light in second medium. You see, n/1, speed of light in medium 1 divided by speed of light in medium 2. Here medium 1 can be solid, can be liquid, can be gas. Medium 2 can be solid, can be liquid, can be gas. Either way, you can compare solid with solid, liquid with liquid, gas with gas, solid with gas, solid with liquid, solid with solid, liquid with solid, liquid with liquid, liquid with gas, gas with solid, gas with liquid, gas with gas. Multiple combinations we have. Medium in which speed of light is more is called optically rarer. Means, if you see, small concept, if speed is more, we can call it as rarer medium. If speed is less, we can call it as denser medium. And if speed is more, we can call refractive index value is less. Speed is less. If speed is less, we can call it as denser medium. Simply to say, refractive index value is more. You mark this one in your book if needed. Regarding this also, there are questions. If light is traveling with greater speed, that indication is that medium is rarer and refractive value index is very less. And if speed is reduced, speed is decreased, then we can call that medium as denser medium. Simply to say, its refractive value index is very greater. In your textbook also, we have refractive value index of different mediums. You can observe here. In air, refractive index is 1.0003, very less. So speed of light will be very greater. In light, just 1.31. In water, 1.3. Now we are coming to here. Ruby, 1.71. Sapphire, 1.77. Here diamond 2.42. When refractive value increases, speed of the light decreases. So refractive value is inversely proportional to speed, or you can tell speed is inversely proportional to refractive index. When speed increases, refractive index decreases. When refractive index increases, speed decreases. You have to understand that. Next, we have another concept, that absolute refractive index. Now here I told you, in refractive index, you can compare any medium with any medium. But if you want to compare any medium only with respect to air, means in numerator only speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. Only speed of light in the numerator, and in denominator any solid, any liquid, any gas. You can compare oxygen with air, you can compare water with air, you can compare diamond with air, whatever it may be. If you are comparing only with air, what is speed of light in vacuum? That is 3 into 10 to the power of 8. And its formula is N is equal to C by V. N stands for refractive index, C stands for speed of light in vacuum, V stands for speed of light in particular medium. Now if you observe, we got different values. How did we get these different values? How can we say Canada balsam is 1.53? How can we say that rock salt refractive index is 1.54? How can we say that kerosene is 1.44? They have compared this air, ice, water, alcohol, kerosene, quartz, everything with only speed of light in vacuum. So all these they have compared only with C value. C is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So comparison only with vacuum, that is absolute refractive index. Okay, then we have to go with lenses. In lenses, we have different positions. First, while coming to convex lens, guys, you see, convex lens, please compare with the positions of concave mirror. For concave mirror, we have 6 positions. For convex lens also we have 6 positions, and you have to compare concave lens with convex mirror. For convex mirror, we have 2 positions. For concave lens also we will be getting only 2 positions, and there are few differences, guys. You see, mirror and lens. U, lens also we will call it as U. V, we will call it as V. Height of the object, we will call it as height of the object only. Height of the image, we will call it as height of the image only. Focus, here small difference is, in mirrors we will call it as focus. In lenses, of course, we will call it as focus. In mirror, we will call it as focal length. In lenses also we will call it as focal length. But now only difference is, in mirror we will be calling it as center of curvature, but in lenses we will call it as twice of focus. So instead of C, we will get to 2F. That is the only difference we have to understand. And another difference is, in mirrors we will be taking pole. Pole is nothing but center point of the mirror. While coming to lens, we are calling it as O. O stands for optic center. These are the 2 changes you have to understand. In mirrors we are calling it as center of curvature, but in lenses we are calling it as twice of focus. In mirror we are calling it as pole P. Now lenses we are calling it as optic center. Next, if you observe ray diagrams from your textbook, first let us take a convex lens. This convex lens is also known as converging lens because all light rays are converged. Concave lens is known as diverging lens because light rays are diverged. To draw ray diagrams, we should understand few rules. So while coming to the rules, first rule, when light is passing parallel to principal axis, definitely refracted ray will pass through focus. It converges through focus. While coming to concave lens, when light ray is passing parallel to principal axis, this is incident ray passing parallel to principal axis, that will diverges out, but imaginary line will meet focus. Rule number 2, when light ray is passing through focus, incident ray is passing through focus, it passes parallel to principal axis, refracted ray. While coming to concave lens, when light ray is passing through focus, guys, passing through focus means virtual way of passing through F2, light ray, refracted ray will pass parallel to principal axis. Rule number 3, if incident ray is passing through optic center O, refracted ray will pass straight without change in its speed and direction, and there is no deviation, no change in direction, no change in speed. And while coming to concave lens, when light ray is passing straight through optic center, here also there is no change in its speed, no change in direction, no deviation, nothing, it passes straight. These are the 3 rules to remember while drawing ray diagram. Next, while coming to first ray diagram of convex lens, when object is placed at infinity. All light rays passing parallel to the principal axis and everything is converged at focus. Where image is formed, guys? Image is formed where two refracted rays are meeting. Image is formed where there two refracted rays are meeting. Now, if you observe, all refracted rays are meeting at focus, so we can tell image is formed at focus. Highly diminished, point sized, real and inverted. You see another thing, small difference I'll tell you. In case of mirror, for example, this is concave mirror or convex mirror you take. If images are forming here, then it is real, and if image is forming beyond backside, then it is virtual, right? Next, while coming to lenses, I'll tell you another thing. It is somewhat different. If you take lens, either convex or concave, this is principal axis we know, and if image is formed this side, now it will be virtual, guys. And if image is formed this side, it will be real. Quite opposite. I told you mirror and lenses are opposite. That's it. So just remember, in case of mirror, if image is formed towards your left hand side, image is real. If image is formed right hand side, then it is virtual. While coming to lenses, if image is formed towards your left hand side, it is virtual, and image is formed towards right hand side, that is real, right? Now let us see, in case of lens, this image is forming towards your right hand side, definitely it is real and inverted. Point size highly diminished, and second position when object is placed beyond C in case of mirror, but while coming to lenses we are calling it as beyond 2f1. Then we know first light ray passes parallel to principal axis and it passes through focus. Second one passing through optic center, passes straight, and you can observe this is the point where two refracted rays are meeting. When two refracted rays are meeting, their image is formed, and image is formed in between focus and center of curvature. Focus and 2f1 twice of focus. And while coming to the nature, it is real, inverted, diminished, because object is big, image is small. Third position, when object is placed at C in case of mirror. In case of lenses, we are calling when object is placed at twice of focus. First light ray passes parallel to principal axis and it passes through focus. Second one passing through O, and where two refracted rays are meeting and image is formed at C. When object is placed at C1, image is formed at C2, or when object is placed at 2f1, image is formed at 2f2. It is real, inverted, same size. Next, fourth position, when object is placed between center of curvature and focus, in between C and F, in between 2f1 and f1. When object is placed here, first light ray passing parallel to principal axis and it passes through focus. Second light ray, it will be passing through optic center, and this is the point where two refracted rays are meeting, where image is formed. You can observe image is forming towards your right hand side, so that it is real. When it is real, definitely it will be inverted, and if you observe, object is small, image is very big, guys, so it is enlarged. And while coming to fifth position, when object is placed at focus, first light ray passing parallel to principal axis and it passes through focus. Second one, it passes through optic center without any deviation. It passes straight, and you can observe these two refracted rays are parallel to each other, so it will never meet. So image is formed at infinity. Image is also forming towards the right hand side, so that it is real, inverted, and it formed at infinity, simply to say highly enlarged. And while coming to the last position of the convex lens, when object is placed in between focus and optic center is nothing but middle point of the lens. In mirror it is pole, but in lenses it is optic center. When object is placed between focus and optic center, first light ray passes parallel to principal axis, it passes through focus. Second one passing through optic center, it passes straight, and if you observe, these two refracted rays are non-parallel lines, so somewhere it will meet. But backside, if you draw imaginary line, you can observe both are meeting at this point, and image is forming towards your left hand side. Left hand side means it is virtual. Whenever it is virtual, it is erect. And if you observe, compare the sizes of object and image. Object is small, image is big, so that we can write it as enlarged. These are the 6 positions of convex lens, and we have two positions for concave lens. First position, when object is placed at infinity, light rays passing parallel to principal axis, and after passing through the lens, light rays will diverge because it is diverging lens. And these two are again non-parallel lines. So for non-parallel lines, what we have to do? We have to draw imaginary line. And when imaginary lines are passed, you can observe this is the point where light rays are appears to meet, not real meeting, appears to meet. And also you see this is the point where two refracted rays are meeting and image is formed towards your left hand side. In lenses, if it is left hand side, we can call it as virtual. When it is virtual, it is erect. But if you see the size, it is so small, highly diminished and point sized. Next, last position, second position of concave lens. When object is placed somewhere on principal axis, anywhere on the principal axis or in between infinity and optic center O, then when object is placed here, first light ray passes parallel to principal axis and it diverges out, but imaginary line will pass through focus. Second one, light ray passing through optic center without any deviation, it passes. Now this is a point where two refracted rays are meeting, and this is where image is obtained. Image is obtained towards your left hand side so that it is virtual. Whenever it is virtual, definitely it is erect. And if you compare the size, the object is big, image is small, so that it is diminished. These are the positions of concave and convex. You see, once again we'll revise that positions while coming to this is convex lens. When object is placed at infinity, image is formed at focus, point size, real and inverted. When object is placed beyond 2f1, beyond 2f1 means beyond C, image is formed between f2 and 2f2. 2f2 means C2, 2f1 means C1, image is diminished, real and inverted. When object is placed at focus 2f1, image is formed at, sorry, not focus, it is 2f1 is nothing but center of curvature C1, image is formed at 2f2, that is center of curvature C2, and same size, real and inverted. When object is placed between center of curvature and focus C1 and f1, image is formed beyond C2. Beyond C2 means beyond 2f2, it is enlarged, real and inverted. When object is placed at focus on principal axis, image is formed at infinity because two light rays are parallel to each other, it is highly enlarged, real and inverted. When object is placed between focus and optic center O, then image is formed on the same side of the lens. Same side of the lens means it is virtual and direct, so it is enlarged. And while coming to the two positions of concave lens, when object is placed at infinity, image is formed at focus of other same side, not other side, same side. Same side means it is virtual and erect, it is point size highly diminished. When object is placed at finite distance means in between infinity and optic center O, somewhere you can place on the principal axis, image is formed between focus and optic center and it is diminished on the same side, so it is virtual and erect. These are the positions of concave and convex lenses. Next concept is about sign convention. Same sign convention we have to compare with Cartesian plane, and we'll see sign convention for concave and convex lenses. So first of all, you see this is sign convention, Cartesian plane, and this axis is y axis, this axis is y dash axis, this one is x axis, this one is x dash axis. And when it is going up y axis, it is positive. When it is coming down, it is y dash axis, it is negative. And while we are moving towards your left hand side, it must be negative, and if you are moving towards your right hand side, that is positive, because x axis and x dash axis. Now we are taking this convex lens. Always objects we are placing in front of the lens only. So for convex, u value will be negative, v value, always images are formed this side towards your right hand side, so v value is negative. But sixth position, if you observe, it is positive, because sixth position images we are getting here. And height of the object h naught is equal to positive, because always height of the objects will be pointing upwards. And height of the image hi is negative, because all images are real and inverted. And for sixth position, it is positive, because sixth position image is pointing upwards. And for while coming to focus, focal length, center of curvature, radius of curvature. Center of curvature means twice of focus, 2f. Now you see for convex lens we have focus here, because if you pass light ray like this, it passes through focus here, means real focus is here. So you are moving towards your x axis. So focus, focal length, center of curvature, radius of curvature, everything will be positive. Next, while coming to concave lens. So concave lens structure will be like this, right? Concave lens will be like this. Always objects we have to place in front of concave lens. Always objects we have to place in front of lenses only. So u value will be negative. And while coming to images, v value. And if you observe, light rays are diverged like this, and it is passing through focus. So original focus will be this side. Means simply to say capital F, small f, C and R will be negative for concave lens, because you have to move towards your left hand side. And images also will be forming at focus at the same time here, right? So it is virtual and erect. Virtual means which is forming towards your left hand side. So V value will be negative. And last, height of the object, height of the image. Always objects will be pointing upwards. So height of the object is positive, and height of the image, always it is virtual and erect. Whenever you are calling it as erect, height of the image will be negative. So these are the sign conventions of concave and convex lenses. And while coming to magnification and lens formula, guys, if you remember mirror formula is 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u. And while coming to lens formula, only change is this negative sign minus. We have to remember as it is. So for mirror it is plus, and for lens it is minus. And magnification m is equal to h dash by h is equal to v by u plus v by u. So these are the concepts. And last, we have power of lens. Power is nothing but reciprocal of focal length. That's it. That's it about this chapter. Power is equal to reciprocal of focal length. If you want, you can take this screenshot. P is equal to 1 by f, and always focal length should be in meter. That's it in this lecture. And in next lecture, we are going to see human eye and the colorful world concepts. So here we have learned everything regarding refraction.